Welcome, Aries. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Scorpio reading. This is currently happening as I'm doing these readings, and this is going to affect you particularly in the area of your life where you share resources with others. So I'm going to start off with an Enchanted Spell Oracle, a new oracle deck, to start us off with the energy of illumination, the card that I pulled. This is really describing an opportunity that is being highlighted by Mercury's retrograde motion back into Scorpio. So this is a way that you are really critically rethinking the way that you are approaching goals, activities, relationships, habits, and patterns in particular. So you are able to get deeply into your feelings to adjust the way you are identifying what is best for you, what feels best for you, how you want to feel. And this is something you're bringing to your relationships and the way that you work, the way that you shape the goals of those relationships. This is really beautiful energy. So illumination is helping you to look within. And this is much of the energy of Mercury retrograding back into Scorpio. So perhaps decisions you made in late October are particularly ones that you are rethinking again. As we move forward, this retrograde is not going to be thoroughly lifted until about the middle of December, after Mercury moves direct and goes back over its shadow period until it reaches the early degrees of Sagittarius. So there is a beautiful gifted time that you are allowed to think about the way that you now see patterns. And this is setting you up for experiencing something that you have yet to discover. The overall energy for this reading is the Ten of Wands. And what comes to mind here is the way that you are carrying inspiration, energy, illumination for others, the way that you're taking care of others by providing them with hope, with opportunities to see things differently, to invest more passionately into goals that are shared. Underneath the deck, the Eight of Cups. I think this is really bearing on the way that you're approaching a challenge in your life. This challenge revolves around a kind of personal empowerment that you're seeking. So you may have anchored your relationships in such a way that you have gathered strength, appreciation for the ways in which you have been supported, and that you have been encouraged to move towards a more significant goal in your life. This is something that you perhaps never thought or you could approach in this way. This may be something you thought would be a journey, but you now see your capacity to achieve something that always seemed too far away for you, too much of a dream, almost an illusion. And now you are seeking that empowerment through your relationships, the confidence and courage they've given you. So this is speaking very hopefully. I'm going to go through the horoscope wheel, and I have pulled the Nine of Wands in the position of your social identity, the way others see you. Others see you as unrelenting, as determined, as no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you continue forward. What feels different right now is this energy of illumination, where activities, thinking, reviewing, reflecting upon habits and patterns that you're now able to see through your feelings, through your emotions, through identifying those feelings within you, that you're able to proceed forward along a path that you have journeyed on for a while into a key. I feel like you found a key, in this key that illuminates your own patterns that have been blocking you in relationships, for example, or in your community or outward social activities, is something that you're now understanding, so that you're approaching it differently, you're seeing it differently. And that is, again, giving you the courage, no matter how many times you've been knocked down, to move forward in this beautiful, inspired way that really motivates others. In the first house, the moon card is very appropriate for the sense of uh, having the courage of your unspoken experiences, looking at old stories in a way that relieves you of a sense of obligation and default to the way things that have always been, a way that you have perhaps believed yourself to be free of your past. But in fact, you now see the many kind of emotional cords that hold you to habits that are a result of sometimes your conditioning, the expectations of others, and the role that you've often held in your family. And the family, for many of you that have moved far beyond childhood, is the family that we continue to establish around ourselves. This becomes our friends, our spouses, our children, those that constitute a family for us. And there's a way in which you enact old patterns that you may not have until now been really aware of the influence that you may have, or the responsibility you hold for those relationships and their success or their health. In the fourth house, the house of your home, your soul, your family, the Three of Cups talks about an emotional foundation for you. And you really are one who feels supported, who feels surrounded by love, and who has constantly invested in that love, that friendship, that alliance, those energies, friends, family that are there for you in a way that is not solely confined to celebration or comfort, but those folks with whom you can be vulnerable. You can share your uncomfortable truths, and that can be reflected back to you in a healthy way, in a safe way, and in a way that sees through your challenges to who you are as a whole person. So that's something you actively cultivate and are appreciating through what can feel like a difficult time as you're doing this ongoing soul healing work. In the seventh house, the Seven of Swords, this is your significant relationships, significant others in your life. The Seven of Swords speaks to a way, again, that I believe that you're understanding the way you have coped or responded to how others have blocked you in the past. That can be through the internalizing the kind of criticism or feedback you have received from others. This feedback, despite your clarity that it often reveals as much about the person who's giving that feedback or criticizing you as it does you, has nonetheless created this internal dialogue, this internal story that you have difficulty turning off. And it is this internal dialogue that makes your relationships often feel burdensome to you, often feel as though you are carrying the responsibilities, the obligations, the hopes of others, and that you feel a personal responsibility in addressing those, curing those, healing those for others. I do believe that this Mercury retrograde is giving you an opportunity to identify ways that uh, the problems of others, the myopia of others, the inability of others to see clearly is not your problem. And hopefully, you are identifying that old story in a way that you have made it your own. If this reading is resonating with you, Aries, please like this video, share this with others if you feel inclined, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate all you for supporting me and all the ways that you do. I'm going to clarify these cards with the Ethereal deck, which is a shadow work deck specifically, and then I will complete this reading with a crystal oracle. So let's get started with the Moon card in the first house. The Three of Swords is clarifying that, and the Five of Wands. Wow. I feel like you are actively involved in some kind of discussion about the way in which you have come to see your own heartbreak, your own sense of failure, your own disappointment. And this is disappointment that you experience as a result of your own efforts. This is part of the illumination that you're experiencing with the gift of Mercury's retrograde, and that we're going into the winter solstice. We're moving towards that energy is part of the leisure of this greater understanding of your own habits and patterns that you have the luxury to uh, imagine, to extrapolate on, to think through critically, to name, to identify. I believe that this engages you in an active conversation, perhaps with others who have shared your experience of family systems, of ways in which you have identified yourself as a fighter, but also identified yourself as one who fights on behalf of your family, your community, your loved ones, and how you are reshaping that story you tell about who you are. So this is a very active moon that you're experiencing. And because the moon really does speak about old stories, old feelings, hidden emotions, ways that we keep uncomfortable things from ourselves because of their weight or where they take us, this is a really rich area for those of you that are expressing, narrating your story in some creative form. There's a lot here to work with, and there's a lot here that resonates with others and that you are actively sharing. You may be in seeking advisement from others, or others may be actively seeking advisement from you. In the fourth house, the Three of Cups is clarified by the Fool card and the Hermit card. Wow. This is really a strong part of your energy right now, is your home life, is your foundation, is your domestic environment. That is where your support, your celebration, your love, the surrounding yourself with what makes you feel safe is really active. And I see you doing a number of things here as you are allowing others to lean on you. You are similarly finding inspiration in their stories. You're less dividing yourself from others who you are intimate with, and you are understanding how their stories reflect your own. You are poised in this place between your own healing work, your own self-discovery, your own searching for answers within, and this poising yourself to move forward in an entirely new way. And I believe this is the unfolding of your story, the new empowerment that you're seeking as a result of shedding a sense of obligation to others that now is misplaced. It has served its purpose. It is no longer truly needed in those relationships that you are honoring. And those, in that way, you are allowing others to support you, to move you forward in a way that often used to occur in the other way. You were the one who others came to. You were the one that others leaned on. And now I see you gaining strength from your ability to support others, allowing them in many ways to you to find support in their experiences. I hope that's clear because this feels like a powerful seat of your own safety and protection in which your own healing story is unfolding. In the seventh house of significant others, this is clarified. The Seven of Swords is clarified by the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Wands. So we have the Ten of Wands repeated here. The Eight of Wands. So there's a story that I'm getting around the exchange that you are having with others. And I think this is the result of you putting your ideas out there in a public way. The way that that is reshaping your sense of obligation, motivation, inspiration to represent hope and opportunity to communities, to your significant others. You are, again, the theme is repeated. You are reshaping your sense of obligation, even your sense of commitment, as a result of opportunities that are coming towards you. And those opportunities often come in the form of helping others. And so this is where the beautiful healing arc of service, whatever service you understand, particularly those of you that are creatives, understanding your expression as a service, an interactive service, an interactive way of healing, of uh, inserting yourself into a conversation about what is possible. And that feels much reshaped as much by the actual circumstances of our social lives as it is about a sense of inner knowledge, a sense of discovery about possibilities that you could not have anticipated, but that you are now encountering as you experience this greater openness to your own sense of maturity, feelings, the evolution of your feelings, and that ability to stay tuned into who you truly are moment to moment. The 10th house, the Nine of Wands, is clarified by the Two of Wands and the Knight of Swords. I really do believe that you are really weighing your options, weighing your approach, because there feels as though you are creating a proposal. You're putting forward a query into your environment, your community, into your chosen work or service. And that is this openness to questions. That is this curiosity that no longer has a set idea of how things can proceed. You're really focusing on not just your intention, but your action plan. and what that action plan should look like. And this feels like a kind of seesaw for you right now. You're exploring ways to get things done that have been previously unfamiliar to you. And through that, you are honing your ability to ask the right questions, to recognize that even as you may have found strategies for moving to the place you are now, the wealth of resources that are opening up to you require a careful approach, a thoughtful approach, one that incorporates or reshapes the goals in a way that you had not anticipated. I feel as though you're looking at your relationships as a way in which you can spur one another on to creating something that really reflects your and your community's best thinking. And this requires a constant checking in on your experience, but also the inner work that you've done to address what your needs are, what your desires are, what your questions are now, not what they've been in the past, not how they've historically evolved, but how you are understanding who you are and what you desire now. I'm going to finish up this reading, Aries, with a crystal oracle, and we have here selenite, and the keywords are spiritual awakening. I am a spiritual warrior of the light. Thank you so much, Aries, for this reading. I appreciate your likes and subscribes. Until next time, namaste.